Hello there, this is David Mitchell. The question: was Mary the mother of Jesus, a peasant, or was she a princess? Lots of people seem to agree that Mary, or Mariam to give her Aramaic name, was some kind of peasant. R.C. Sproul says in one place that the Holy Spirit overshadowed a peasant virgin, and even old Martin Luther 500 years ago said she was one of the lowest, not a maid of high station in the capital city, but a daughter of a plain man in a small town. But these charges aren't new. They were first voiced by a pagan called Celsus in the 2nd century. Celsus said, "It is not likely that God would have loved her, since she was neither wealthy nor of royal birth, for she was a poor countrywoman who earned her living by spinning." So it seems many people are happy to call Mariam a peasant, but are they right? Well, if she was a peasant, how come she was betrothed to Joseph? Joseph was a prince of the house of David, and princes don't usually marry peasants, not often now, and much less back then. And Mariam must have had a status that could secure such a match. And if we look a little further, we'll find that Mariam was not a peasant at all. We find our best evidence, strangely enough, in the Talmud. I say strangely because the whole point of this Talmud passage is to slander Mariam. It's spoken by a rabbi called Rav Papa, and I'm not going to repeat his slander, for it goes against the evidence and against the plain teaching of the New Testament. But he says she was a child of Siganim and Shiltonim. These are both plural words. The singulars are Sagan and Shilton. Now, Sagan is an Aramaic word meaning a viceroy or vizier, and Nehemiah and Daniel use it for Persian government officials. But in Second Temple Judaism, it meant the Sagan HaKohanim, the deputy Kohen Gadol or high priest. And if the high priest became unfit for duty, the Sagan took his place. And any reference to a Sagan in Jerusalem or Judah denotes his temple high official. So Rav Papa is speaking of a young woman from the top families of the Zadokite priesthood. But she is also a child of Shiltonim. A Shilton is another Aramaic word. It's related to the Arabic word sultan, and it means a governor or ruler, as it does in Daniel chapter 3, verse 3. So it well describes the kings of the line of David who ruled as governors in the Persian and Greek empires. So Rav Papa says Mariam was descended from the house of David and from the Zadokites who ruled the temple. But the amazing thing about his testimony is that, like I said, he was slandering her. Yet even while he was slandering her, he could not deny that she was of royal and priestly descent. The only reason for this must be that her lineage was widely known in rabbinic circles. So Rav Papa takes this information and implies she was a disgrace to her noble family, which I don't believe. So his testimony to her royal and priestly lineage must be true, for he would not have credited noble birth to her unless he had to. We could say a lot more about this, and if you want to know more, you'll find it in chapter 8 of my book, Jesus, the Incarnation of the Word. And there I devote 6,000 words to what we know of Mariam's lineage and descent. But there are also clues in the New Testament. There we learn that Mariam was a kinswoman, that is, a blood relation of Elizabeth, who was from the Zadokite priesthood. And we also learn that John the Apostle was the son of Mariam's sister, Maria Salome. And that is why during Jesus' trial, John was allowed to enter the high priest's house and even the council chamber. And this all happened because John was known to the high priest. Well, how could a Galilean fisherman be so familiar to the high priest in this way? Well, the only way is that they were related. The fact that he was a fisherman is no obstacle. Every Israelite man had a trade, and John's family ran a successful fishing business in Galilee. So John was Mariam's nephew, and he was also of Zadokite descent, and he, probably like Mariam too, was related to the high priest. So there you go. Mariam, the mother of Jesus, was the child of Shiltonim and Siganim. She was descended from the princes of the house of David and from the Hasmonean Zadokite rulers of the temple. So the Blessed Virgin was not a peasant at all. She was 100% princess. Thanks for listening. God bless you. Blessed be Jesus, the Messiah.